Pardon my feathers. Ooh, it's called a waddle. Oh.
Mama had a chicken, Mama had a cow. I raised an eyebrow and always wondered how. But Dad didn't care, so it was all good. Well, here we are again with another video where we will talk about cow and chicken. I'm Gibson Shamar, and this is Hikati Media with another excellently produced video entitled Talk About Cow and Chicken, or Hikati Media's Cow and Chicken Talk. You know how it goes. If you don't, you'll learn in this video. Let's talk about the show, shall we? Well, there's no storyline in the show. It just starts and ends as randomly as it went. It's just the surreal adventures of a talking cow and a talking chicken, along with an assortment of weird characters, like pretty much everyone. Mom and Dad have no upper bodies by the looks of it. There are these two weirdos, the teacher who doesn't really show any empathy for her pupils, with sagging triceps. There's Cousin Black Sheep, Cousin Boneless Chicken, and Dad's dad married a chicken. Then the bad guy of the show is the devil himself. We just call him Red Guy or Heine or basically anything with the synonym of butt in it because, you know, we 90s kids loved butt and fart jokes as kids. Don't judge us. It was a different time. And for you grown-ups and Gen Zs, he calls himself Lance Sackless sometimes. Sackless. So we have Cow, the book-smart little girl who loves her dolls and has a secret identity. She moonlights as Super Cow, the Spanish-speaking superhero who, as revealed in a third season episode, gets her powers from the green cape she wears. We never get to learn where she learned Spanish from or why that's necessary. No one except her older brother, Chicken, knows her secret identity. Her archenemy, the Red Guy, tried to figure it out but failed. She's usually the one to get Chicken out of trouble or gets manipulated into trouble. Her grotesque appearance is only occasionally a plot point. Meanwhile, she has all the insecurities of a late 90s, early 2000s 8-year-old girl would have. Then we have Chicken, the 11-year-old older brother who is the street smart one of the duo. He's not really bright in school, but it doesn't seem to bother him. It also doesn't bother him that his younger sister of a couple of years shares some classes with him. Although he's mostly annoyed by the girly antics of Cow, he shows concern for her whenever she's sad, worried, or captured. You know, the typical sibling relationship. His attempts to be cool or rebellious often lead him into trouble that his sister has to get him out of, either as Super Cow or her civilian identity. Then we have Mom and Dad, people whose faces we never see throughout the show. You know, back in those days, there were parents or adults whose faces we never see. Mom and Dad, Miss Bellum, the adults of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Even for her debut episode, number 2's mom, her face wasn't shown. Here, they took it a step forward and just never showed us at all. We only got a possible tease in one of the episodes, but never a confirmed look. There are episodes where they're shown to have upper bodies, like when they dial the telephone, the phone part goes above their waist, and Cow and Chicken always look up when they're talking to them. They're also weird in other ways. They're always laughing. Mom's laugh is the weirdest one. It's so loud and piercing. She just lets loose. And they laugh at anything. We then have the antagonist of the show. I found him to be really annoying as a kid, but then now that I'm grown, I notice that he gets hurt a lot. And that's good. And he loses most of the time. He's always some con artist trying to wreak havoc, or he just straight up tries to wreak havoc however he can. He once tried to put a coin inside the source of life, millions of years in the past, just because he felt like it. He once put an owl's egg in Chicken's bed to make him and everyone else think he laid it. just because he felt like it. He also operated on Chicken and turned him into a duck, just because he felt like it, and even won the court case when Mom and Dad sued him. That was a grim episode for me. Some folks around me said that they weren't allowed to watch the show as children because of him, because he looked like the devil. It's only when I was looking into this show after finishing it that I realized that he actually is the devil. It's not some weird fan theory. He straight up is the devil. That actually shocked me a bit. We had the actual devil in the cartoon we watched as kids. Huh. Moving on. We have Flem and Earl. They're brothers and Chicken's best friends. There isn't much about them. We do know they both have a crush on Cow. For some reason. Somehow. And they're both equally dim-witted and get caught up in just as much trouble as Chicken. Now, on to the show. The show explores the lives of the members of this abnormal family residing in an unknown city in USA. There's no story to it, it's just the day-to-day lives of a talking cow and a talking chicken with human parents who don't know how they came to be. And Dad's dad married a chicken, by the way. There are no life lessons that are handed to us. We often have to force them out of the episodes, and it's cool like that. The show also goes on a few blurred lines and plays on limits with this whole gender thing. Red guy likes to cross-dress and often just straight up disguises himself as a girl or a woman. Sometimes he goes as both, like when he went as the king and queen of cheese. And somehow, no one ever sees through his disguises, despite him having red skin. I'm guessing that's just some sort of devilry going on, like only the audience sees his true form, but everyone else sees the disguise. But then again, this thing isn't story driven, so it's just random. There are never any callbacks to previous episodes, not even at random. The show also goes on and displays gender nonconformity, and there are even times when Dad hints that he used to be a girl in his youth. But then it's all just for laughs. We also get gay kissing in the show. Yeah, really. Somehow that made it into the show. Don't ask me how. And no, it wasn't censored. I clearly remember seeing this in Cartoon Network as a kid. Heck, the episode where Chicken lays an egg has Flem and Earl asking him out on a date and trying to make a move on him. The show was really just slapstick comedy and had nothing too deep to think about. I like how they break the fourth wall in weird ways. The best way was how they mentioned that the show was over in the last few episodes, and Red Guy was trying to stop that and commenting on it. Both this and the sister show, I Am Weasel, did that. The last episode with this one was Who Rubbed Out Cow and Chicken, where we see Mom and Dad half erased, or are they? Laughing as somebody tries to erase all the characters and, therefore, the show. It's revealed to be Red Guy. The very last one was The Ballad of Cow and Chicken, which was just a made-up story by a teacher, who, by the way, is very useless. I don't even know what she teaches. She's smarter than her students, but that's not really something to brag about or be proud of. Anywho, the show was entertaining for its time. I got sick of it as a kid, but watching it now hasn't really changed my mind much. It's still a pretty good show, though, don't get me wrong. Hikati Media recommends. Did you know that Cow, Chicken, and Red Guy were all voiced by the same voice actor?